Hello and welcome to the College Admissions Collaborative highlighting engineering and technology college fair. We are so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. My name is Jennifer and I'll be your facilitator. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping announcements. Your camera and your microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can, though, ask questions using the Q&A button on your screen. You can type your questions to our presenters at any time. You can direct the questions to a specific school or schools by including their names in with your question, or you can leave a question for all of our representatives to answer about their programs. This is just one of many different sessions that have been happening as a part of the programming for CACHET. This session, as well as all of the other 6x6 college fair sessions today, are being recorded, and they're going to be available at the same website where you signed up, striascan.com/CACHET. You should also go check out that website because there are some wonderful panels and info sessions that are taking place this week on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So we hope that you will check that out and sign up to learn even more about the opportunities that are out there for you and can help you in your college search process. All right, I am excited to introduce our very first school tonight. We're going to be learning about Illinois Institute of Technology.
Awesome. Thank you for that introduction. My name's Will, and I'm one of the admissions counselors here at Illinois Tech. Very excited to spend some time with you this evening. If you didn't already notice on the screen, we are located in Chicago, just a few minutes from the center of downtown Chicago, and our students really enjoy that. They see themselves as not just a student at Illinois Tech, but also a resident of the city. Now, as you can imagine, Illinois Tech is a school that offers lots of different types of engineering and STEM-based programs, like all of us here as part of this week. But what we do at Illinois Tech is we have about 45 different majors that are available to you. We are a student body of just about 3,000 undergraduate students. So there is a smaller community, but you're going to find that it's a pretty diverse community as well, with students from all 50 US states, over 80 different countries, and a pretty large number of those students are coming from outside of the state of Illinois. So if you maybe are coming from California, like a lot of the students I work with, you would be one of maybe 20 or so students starting your first year together. So definitely a place where you're going to find a community of others who might have similar experiences, and absolutely find those who have very different experiences. One of the things to know about Illinois Tech from an academic perspective is that you start out in your major your very first year on campus. We want you to apply directly to a major. We want you to start out in that right away and get your feet wet. Start to really see, what does it mean to be a biomedical engineer? Or what does it mean to study food science and nutrition? We're going to give you a chance to do that right away. Now on this slide here, there's a lot of information. I don't expect you to read it all, but this is kind of the breakdown of our colleges at Illinois Tech. We've got our engineering school, home to all of the different types of engineering, including electrical, computer, mechanical, biomedical, lots of great options there. We're also home to a college of architecture, a college of computing, and then a very large list of majors in the College of Arts and Sciences, where you're going to find things like your traditional lab sciences, biologies, the chemistries, but you're also going to find interdisciplinary programs like food science, like I mentioned, maybe behavioral health and wellness, or digital humanities. We also have our Stewart School of Business, where we've got our business administration program. And then in the center of the slide, you'll see some of those special programs, opportunities to do things that are maybe on an accelerated pathway, like our BSDO programs, like our law programs, or possibly early admission programs like the BSDO program, for those of you who might be interested in medical school. One of the things to know at Illinois Tech is it is a very hands-on environment. We are going to challenge you to basically take those concepts that you're learning in the classroom and really show us how you personally apply those. We do that through things like undergraduate research experiences, through our interprofessional projects, or IPROs, as you'll hear our students call them, where you get a full year to work in a small group of interdisciplinary teams trying to solve a problem of your choosing. Another great way that we do that at Illinois Tech is through Elevate, which helps you find off-campus experiences. Think maybe study abroad, internships, or even doing a full-term co-op where you work full-time with a company. All of those types of experiences are available at our university. Now, it's not 100% academic at Illinois Tech. We do want you to have a very robust student life outside of the classroom. And so you'll find plenty of ways to stay busy, ways to develop leadership skills, and ways to just connect with others. Clubs, organizations, athletics. We are a Division III athletic institution. We also have a thriving esports program. So if you are interested in representing Illinois Tech in a traditional sport or possibly an esport, we've got great options for you at the university. We do also have a full Greek life organization at Illinois Tech. So if you're thinking you might want to join a fraternity or sorority, you can absolutely do that in an institution like ours. We are also residential. So in Chicago, you have lots of choices where you might want to live. You can live directly on our campus in one of the different residence halls that we offer, including 2 that were renovated in the last 2 years. Or you may want to move off campus for junior and senior year, live with friends in an apartment and get that true city experience. That's definitely possible. And it's only a 10-minute train ride to get back to campus from the center of the loop. Now, in terms of how to apply at Illinois Tech, we try to make it as simple as possible for you. We're members of the Common App, and we're only going to ask you for a few supplemental things. So it's going to be 2 short essays that just tell us a little bit more about why you're interested in IIT and why the major might be a good fit for you. We're also going to ask you for your high school transcript, obviously, and then 1 letter of recommendation is required. Additionally, if you want to submit ACT or SAT scores, you are more than welcome to do so. And you can see we are looking for mostly an AB average at the institution. We really are going to look most heavily at the programs that you are applying for. So engineers and CS students, that might need a little bit more of that math and science coursework. Whereas if you're looking for business or architecture, obviously things are a little different in terms of the preparation that you'll need. One thing to know is there's no application fee, and when you apply to Illinois Tech, you are automatically going to be considered for scholarships. These range from anywhere the lower end of about $10,000 to $15,000 per year and go all the way up to full tuition-based awards. So there is an opportunity to get a pretty strong scholarship at IIT. In fact, anyone who is admitted before November 15th of this year will actually be guaranteed a $25,000 scholarship package, and that's renewable all 4 years at the university. So those scholarships are available for you each and every year. We also have some special scholarships on the lower half of the page that you'll see, things like our Crown, our Leadership. These are for students who might want to apply for these scholarships. So if you are interested in those, please take a look. And I'm very happy to spend some time with you this evening and pass it off to another Chicago school up next, I believe.
Well, thank you so much for starting us off and presenting on Illinois Tech tonight. All right, we're off to our next school, which is in Chicago, the University of Chicago.
Thank you so much, Jennifer and Will. Excited to be representing the south side of Chicago. The University of Chicago is located in Hyde Park, which is about 6 miles south of downtown. And we are a medium-sized liberal arts college of about 7,000 students nested within a larger research institution. Our motto here on the screen, Crescat Scientia Vita Excolator, means let knowledge grow from more to more, and so be human life enriched. So you Chicago students want to change the world, make the world a better place with their knowledge. And certainly we have done that historically. In the lower left of your screen, you see Georgiana Simpson. She was the first African-American female to earn her PhD in the US, and she did so in our Germanic Studies department. The middle photo there is Jay Berwinger, the winner of the very first Heisman Trophy. As a member, he was the halfback of our football team in 1935, and the Heisman is on display in our athletic center. And then in the lower right, you have Enrico Fermi, who achieved the first self-sustaining nuclear chain reaction as part of the Manhattan Project, and he did end up winning a Nobel Prize for that. Of course, you do not need to already be a Nobel Prize winner to be a successful student at UChicago. So at the undergraduate level, again, as a liberal arts college, you're going to be looking at mostly small discussion-based classes. Even your STEM classes are going to be about 19 students. The professor is not going to be at a podium lecturing at you. They're going to be sitting at a round table, encouraging that Socratic seminar style learning. You can see that about a third of your classes will fall into each of these 3 categories. Something that's unique about UChicago's core is that it has this overarching structure, but within that there's a lot of flexibility. So if you want to choose from one of our 27 biology options, you absolutely can. We have 10 humanities courses, 57 foreign languages, so you can really construct your core curriculum to fit your thematic interest. Another third of your classes are going to be electives, so these are fun classes like baseball and American culture or Star Wars and religion, where you actually have to watch 9 Star Wars franchise films in order to get college credit, which is pretty exciting. But then I want to focus more on the majors. So at UChicago, you don't have to declare your major until your 3rd year, and you can switch your major as often as you'd like once you enter the college. So you might put on your application that you're interested in biology, and then you could arrive and decide that you actually want to try economics or creative writing. We're very flexible here. I do want to give a quick plug for our molecular engineering major. We are the only school in the world to offer this as an undergraduate option. So if you want to solve some of the world's biggest problems on a nanoscale level, this is a good choice for you. We have 3 different tracks, and we are specifically seeing the most publicity and the biggest push for quantum engineering. So the new Biden administration has put out a launch for the quantum internet, a national quantum internet, and we've already seen a 52-mile quantum loop completed between the University of Chicago and the Fermi and Argonne National Labs. So unhackable internet communications on the horizon here on the south side. A lot of our students will complete research, specifically with the Argonne and Fermi National Laboratories. These are co-run by the University of Chicago and with the U.S. Federal Department of Energy. So for you molecular engineers thinking about nanoparticle physics research, UChicago is a great place to come. And we also hope that you'll complete at least 1 paid internship by the time you graduate. We have students intern at NASA, Uber, Facebook, Microsoft, etc. So a lot of big names. Of course, college is not just about getting the paid internships and studying all day. We also want you to have fun. We are a residential college with a 2-year housing requirement. So your first 2 years, we do ask you to live in the dorms on campus. After that, your 3rd and 4th year housing will be guaranteed, but it is optional. And our houses are kind of sometimes described as being like Hogwarts, except instead of having 4, we have 12 times as many. You are randomly assigned to a house, so they're not based on your major or where you're from or what year you are, but each house has its own personality and adopt their own traditions. The house here, Alper House, is very passionate about intramural broomball, which is one of my favorite intramurals as well. We also hope that you will make friends in the clubs that you join. Some of our larger clubs are Model United Nations and the University Theater, but then we have smaller, more niche clubs like the Zombie Readiness Task Force. So if you're interested in applying, we have 2 application deadlines. I recommend applying early if you can, because there's that quick turnaround time. You'll hear back from us by mid-December, and it's so nice to go into your senior year at least having that answer either way. UChicago is going to accept pretty much the same materials. Not a lot has changed because of the pandemic. We've been test optional since 2018, pre-pandemic. So do not worry if your test score does not fully reflect your academic potential, or if you cannot safely take the test right now. But my absolute favorite part of the application process are our essay questions. So please get excited about answering, where is Waldo really? What's so odd about odd numbers? This year we have a question that asks, what if the moon was made out of cheese? So I'll let you contemplate that, and hopefully you will get excited about applying to UChicago. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Liz, for presenting on UChicago tonight. All right, we're on to our 3rd school of the evening, and we are going to be hearing from Lawrence Technological University.
Thank you so much. Sit up here. All right. So hello, everyone. My name is Erin Berglow. I am a senior admissions counselor from Lawrence Technological University in Southfield, Michigan, right in the Metro Detroit area. And we will go ahead and jump right into some great information. So to start, at Lawrence Tech, we are a small private university. So in total, we have about 3,000 total students, about 2,000 of which are undergraduate students. We're also a very diverse campus. So we're represented by 43 states and 48 different countries on our campus. And additionally, along with our average class size being just about 15 to 20 students, we do have an 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So all of our LTU students will absolutely get one-on-one attention in all of their classes and never be just a face in a lecture hall full of hundreds of students. And another bonus of an LTU education is that our courses are only taught by faculty. So we don't have teaching assistants or graduate assistants teaching our courses. And then just a little bit about the learning environment you'll experience as an LTU student. If you're an accepted student to Lawrence Tech, you are automatically accepted into your major of choosing. So there is no separate application to fill out, no years of only taking prerequisite courses. You will start your major-based courses day one freshman year for that early exposure. And then lastly, here on our quick facts, LTU was founded in 1932 by the Lawrence brothers on the motto of theory and practice, and we still hold true to that motto today. At Lawrence Tech, we have an extremely strong focus on hands-on education brought into play by things like freshman and undergraduate research in state-of-the-art labs and studios all over our campus, co-ops and internships, which just about 75% of our students do participate in, competition teams, Blue Devil Motorsports, senior projects, industry sponsored projects, and much more. So plenty of ways for our students to get out of a traditional classroom setting and do what they're learning. Next up here are our academic programs. So at Lawrence Tech, you can see on the screen, we have 4 different colleges. We have our College of Architecture and Design, our College of Business and Information Technology, College of Arts and Sciences, and College of Engineering. So while we were founded as a College of Engineering in 1932 at our start, we now offer nearly 100 different degree programs that you can see here on the screen. And if you're interested in learning more about any particular major or program that we do offer, our faculty and departments are hosting virtual program overviews all fall long. So students can attend to learn more about specific programs here, but full list on our website as well. Next up, we will go over all the information you need to know to become a Lawrence Tech student. So in order to make a decision on an application, first and foremost, we need a completed application. We do have our own, and we're also on the common application. We need your official high school transcript and a personal essay. We have gone fully test optional for the fall 2022 semester. So we are not requiring an ACT or SAT. With that, if you do have an ACT or SAT score, feel free to send it in. You'll never be negatively impacted in sending in a score, but we'll add it to your application as supplemental information. When making an admission decision, we always conduct a holistic review. So while we do review a recalculated weighted core GPA, your essay and your application, we look at other things such as your grade trends, how you're progressing throughout your high school career, the strength of your curriculum, things like that. I do also like to mention here, we are on a rolling admission schedule, which means that there is technically no deadline to apply. However, I encourage the sooner the better, just so that we can get quick application and scholarship review underway. And then down at the bottom, if any students have taken AP or IB or dual enrollment, you can feel free to send us that information and we will review it for possible transfer credit. And then over on the right side, we have some of our transfer information as well. So here we have an overview of our tuition and fee costs for the 2021-2022 academic year. Our tuition and fees are assessed per credit hour. So the numbers that you see here on the screen are estimated at just about 30 credit hours for one full year, which is about average for our students to take. And this is about average for a mid-sized private university. And these are completely flat figures, so not including any financial aid or scholarships. So next up, I want to go over scholarship options for our incoming students. We are now automatically reviewing all accepted students for merit scholarships. We have a review committee that are conducting a merit-based holistic review of each accepted student, taking a look at many factors playing a role in those scholarship reviews. The merit scholarships still do range from $4,500 up to $16,000 per year for 4 years. Again, No ACT or SATs are required for those scholarship reviews. And students are also able to participate in Raise Me to replace that academic scholarship that they earned through us via acceptance. And then additionally, we allow students to earn 2 institutional scholarships. So here on the screen over on the right side, you can see a list of a few other institutional options, things like our DECA scholarships, First Robotics, Bex Robotics, just to name a couple. Down the link in the corner, you will find a full list of optional scholarships there for students to potentially apply for and earn. So at Lawrence Tech, we have 4 different housing units on campus, and you can see them coming across the screen here. We do have East Residence Hall, which is brand new freshman only housing. Royce is a community style living area. Donley and South are for upper class and transfer students. Those are our apartment style living areas. We do not require any students to live on campus unless you're a committed varsity athlete on scholarship, but laundry's free, parking's free. Any students can have a car. We also have Tech Transit, which is a way for students to get around on our campus here. We have plenty of our NAIA sports, all scholarship eligible, a lot to get involved with for clubs and organizations as well. But thank you so much for having me. Hope you learned a little something. And that's it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Erin, for sharing Lawrence Tech tonight. All right, so we've heard from 3 schools. We've got 3 more to go. So just want to remind all of our attendees that you can use that Q&A button to drop some questions for our panelists. You can ask a question about a specific school or schools by including the name, or you can leave a question for all of our representatives to answer about a program or an activity that you're interested in double checking and learning more about tonight. All right, so we are off to our next school. And as you can see, it's going to be Washington University in St. Louis.
All right, thanks, Jennifer. Okay, so my name is Riata High School. I'm an assistant director, an admissions officer at Washington University, St. Louis, or as we like to call it, WashU. I'm also an alum of WashU, so obviously I love it here. So let's start with talking a little bit about the city that we call home. So St. Louis is a medium-sized city that gives you the best of both a big city and a small town. We have some really beautiful parks, museums, some very passionate sports fans, and an awesome food scene. At the same time, we have a collection of individual neighborhoods that each have their own personality and kind of flair. And then if you add in being one of the country's fastest growing cities for startup and tech companies, you'll get our unique home. So of course, we want all of our students to get off campus and really engage with the city around them and really feel that this is their home too. So we give our students free Metro passes, and that gives them access to the light rail and public bus system in St. Louis. And we have 2 Metrolink stops on our Danforth campus, as well as a bus stop that connects to the St. Louis airport, our medical campus, as well as downtown and other neighborhoods as well. So our campus, on campus, our community is diverse, it's inclusive, collaborative, and creative. We have 5 undergraduate academic divisions. So we have arts and sciences, engineering, business, art, and architecture. Our campus represents all 50 states and US territories, as well as over 50 countries. And of course, this geographic diversity brings with it all forms of diversity, whether it be racial, ethnic, socioeconomic, religious, or political. Because we have so many unique students with their own interests and experiences, we really want to make sure that we treat them as the individuals we are. And this way of thinking kind of leads to our unofficial motto, which is to know students by name and story. And our community is one that really values open and respectful and honest discussions, and our faculty and staff really challenge our students to be engaged in dialogue and to feel comfortable in that uncomfortable space, which often results in our students discovering more about themselves and their community in the process. So with that discovery of themselves and their community, with that being said, WashU is a place of discovery. So students do choose one of our 5 divisions as a home base. but the entirety of the university is available to all students, regardless of background or initial academic interest. So if you're interested in engineering, you can still take classes in the arts and sciences, or you can take an art class or anything like that, as well as major across divisions. So from our classes to our research to study abroad and extracurricular activities, students are able to combine their passions into a unique path that best fits who they are. So most of our courses are small discussion-based classes with an average class size of 26 students. We really want students to be active participants in the learning process every day, supporting and challenging each other to think in new ways. So interdisciplinary study is the hallmark of WashU's academic community, with students able to have majors and minors across multiple divisions. Around 80% of our students actually graduate with more than one major, which is a testament to both our multifaceted students and our flexible curriculum. So there isn't a university-wide core curriculum, so you have plenty of choices. Luckily, you aren't alone in navigating all of this. We provide students with a very comprehensive network of advisors to help with an array of options. They do more than just check boxes. You'll have a four-year advisor, an advisor for each major that you declare, each minor that you declare, each pre-professional track that you declare, as well as residential advisors and student advisors. And they're all there to serve as resources to help you find the best path for your goals and dreams. So in addition to that, we have 11 faculty fellows who live side by side with students in our residential colleges to really further that community connection. And so, of course, we're always encouraging our students to continue learning outside of the four walls of the classroom. Every one of our academic majors offers students the ability to study abroad, and over 40% of our students choose to do that. As a Tier 1 research institution, we see our students taking advantage of the resources around them to really pursue those intellectual passions, with over 3,000 research projects underway each year. Students can run their own business through our student entrepreneurial program, which is that picture in the top right corner there, or get involved in St. Louis through our Gephardt Institute for Civic and Community Engagement. So our students also have the opportunity to engage with any of our over 450 clubs and organizations. Our student union has a $3.5 million budget to fund student groups and activities. So you can get funding to travel to competitions or conferences, to bring a speaker to campus, or to just have food at your group meeting. With activities ranging from our top-ranked D3 varsity athletics to 13 different a cappella groups, to major cultural groups, to fraternity and sorority life, to more niche groups like our premier butter churning society. Our students really love to be involved. They come together for our traditions like our semi-annual concert series called Wild, or our 13 Carnival, which is the oldest and largest student-run carnival in the country. And whatever our students do, they really give it their all, and there's never a weekend where there isn't an event to attend. So here's some brief information about our incoming class this fall. We do take a holistic approach to admissions. So we look at every piece of your application to determine not just the type of student, but to really understand how you would contribute to our campus community. We are test optional again this fall, but we do super score both the ACT and SAT for those students who do decide to submit testing.
Thank you so much, Riata, for presenting on WashU tonight. Really appreciate it. And we are now moving on to our next school. So we're going to be hearing from Rose-Hulman.
Alrighty, hello everybody. My name is Bobby Andrews. I'm the Senior Director for Enrollment Initiatives at Rose-Hulman, and I oversee domestic recruitment as well as all of our international recruitment here at Rose. So we're a small school. Just want to think after a year and a half, I'd have the technology down pat for presenting. But we're just under 2,200 undergraduate students, about 2,150 students at this time enrolled on campus here. We have 13:1 ratio, so it's about a 20 students is the average class size. This past year, we were in session the whole year throughout COVID, but our class sizes were down to about 8 at that time, which actually worked out really well for us here at Rose, that we were able to even be more intensive and more hands-on, which has been the hallmark of an education here at Rose-Hulman for almost 150 years now. So we're a STEM-only institution focusing on 18 majors, all in the science and engineering fields. We do pride ourselves on a highly collaborative campus, like everybody you're meeting on this tonight, all of my colleagues. We all really have taken the theoretical application, theoretical principles of engineering and brought them into a practical applied manner. So like I said, 18 different majors. We have our two largest majors are computer science and mechanical engineering. So within mechanical engineering is a pretty wide array, ranging from everything from aeronautical engineering on to hydraulics and industrial mechanical engineering. And then some of our more really finite programs like optical engineering. A lot of people think at first glance that we're talking about, eyeglasses and things like that. We're actually talking about lasers and deep space telescopes for the most part. Our faculty throughout the optical engineering program are all contracted by NASA. So all of their work that they're doing and their research is being done via NASA. And most importantly, we are only undergraduate students. So our first year on through senior students are the ones working on those projects with them. So it's a very math intensive program, kind of resides underneath the physics department. So as you can imagine, but our students absolutely adore the program and have such a great time in there. We do have 10 graduate programs here on campus, so it is less than 100 students. So for the most part, it is tailored explicitly towards enhancing undergraduate degrees. So a lot of our students will graduate with a bachelor's degree and then have already taken some coursework either directly in their major or in an adjacent major. So one of the most popular areas is to go through a bachelor's path in mechanical engineering and then sample areas in computer science and software engineering, very popular for our students. So those graduate programs are there, or be able to just stay and take part in a master's degree program. We also this year added a new program that blends those two worlds with more than 20% of our students coming in with Calc, AP Calc AB and Calc BC. They also have a number of other AP credits or IB credit coursework coming in. So we have a new program called Rose Squared. As you can imagine, it's 2 degrees, it's Rose. So you will graduate on time as long as you follow the pathway, which is not an overload. It actually fits all of your electives and some of your major elective and then institutional elective coursework. So you graduate in 4 years with a bachelor's in whatever degree path you choose of our 18 majors. And currently you would earn a master's degree in engineering management, which is essentially like an MBA for engineers. We will see this coming year a few more of our graduate degrees, so it could be master's in mechanical engineering or chemical engineering, move towards that program as well. All of our degree programs are ABET accredited. We've been around since the inauguration of ABET and have had a hand in its crafting of its requirements in the accreditation process. Very proud of the fact that we're a small, hands-on, applied focused institution. And because of that intense focus and the success our students have had in that process over the years, U.S. News and World Report again for a number of years has rated our 5 main program, our 5 largest engineering majors as the #1 programs for undergraduate colleges in the country. And we were just awarded for the 23rd straight year, the #1 ranked undergraduate engineering institution in the U.S. Rankings aren't everything, but since this subset is a lot based on results, it's something we are proud of. Just to give you a quick kind of context of our application process. So coming up on November 1st will be our early action deadline, and all of our EA deadline candidates will have notification probably about a week earlier than that, December 15th, maybe December 15th, depending upon where we land. But about 60% of our class comes from the early action pool. And then the rest come through regular decision, which is February 1st for our deadline. Again, we'll let you know well in advance so you can come to campus and make use of those spring events that we host, and having an opportunity to come to campus before making that decision by May 1st. Pretty similar to a lot of the other schools on here tonight and a lot of other schools you're looking at, we're on the Common Application. That is our primary app. So we have our own application, but more than 98% of our applications every year come by the Common App. So no need to do anything additional there and create a new app for us. Just use the Common App is fine. High school transcripts, would love to see the first semester or quarter if possible in your senior year, but certainly not required. Obviously, just looking for the first 3 years. We are test score optional for this cycle, the fall 2022, as we were for 2021. If you are not a senior at this time, I would say that it's highly likely that we will not be test score optional next year, and we'll probably go back to requiring standardized tests or some test flexible possibility in the future. We do require one letter of recommendation, but really what we're looking for in a letter of recommendation is not necessarily a letter that is going to decide any sort of candidacy to the school, but to help give us some context as we point you down a pathway towards specific merit scholarships and some of the other secondary awards that you could get in addition to the general award. And,
thanks, Bobby. We have hit the end of our 6-minute time with you. I know there's so much to cover, so please make sure we get your info to the chat for sure.
That was the end of mine anyway.
Oh, perfect timing. Fantastic. Thanks. All right. We are on to our 6th school today. We're going to be hearing about Kettering University.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. We can hear you and
Thank
see
you.
you.
Perfect. I feel like it's Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong right now. But thank you for being here today. If I've learned anything, it's to pivot in this time. So that's what we're going to do. But yeah, so my name is Bree Baker. I am a admissions counselor over at Kettering University, which is located in Flint, Michigan, right in the heart of downtown Flint. And we are a very niche institution. So everything we do is related to science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and management. So we actually have a pretty small student body. We only have about 2,000 students on our campus. However, we actually take that student body and divide it into 2 different sections. So we are a year-round school, and we work on 10-week terms as opposed to the 16-week semesters. So as a student, if you apply, you're accepted. You will be placed into either A section or B section. A section will actually start their first academic term in July, where they are on campus for 3 months at a time, taking classes. And then come October, they'll actually start a paid co-op where they are working 40 hours a week, 5 days a week in a position that is related to the program that they are pursuing at Kettering. Come January, they'll be back at school. And then in the springtime in April, they'll actually be going back to their co-op. B section is the exact opposite, whereas an incoming freshman, you have the potential to start your co-op before you even step foot in the classroom. We do have some students that are B section that will opt to take a longer summer. So they will actually just start their classes in October. Our B section students are actually starting their class on October 4th. So they are on campus taking classes, and then they will either return or start their co-op in January and then return to school in April. So students do this for over 4.5 years. We are a 4.5-year program. And the whole idea behind it is that by the time the student graduates, they'll have about 2.5 years of paid experience in their field, which that's what everybody is looking for, right? When it comes to finding a full-time job, if you ask any person in any field where they learn the most about their job, it would probably be on the job. So that's really how we view education here, is pairing it, listening to the lectures, reading the books, that's all really important, but until you can apply it to something, that's really where the magic happens. So students can really start looking for a co-op as soon as they are accepted to Kettering. You will actually be placed with a co-op manager based on the territory where you live. And this co-op manager will help you with resume writing, interview tips, and help you navigate the employment fair that we hold in March every year. So we're actually partners with over 400 employers. A lot of them are in Southeast Michigan, but you are certainly not limited to this area. We've had students co-op in California, New York, Texas, Chicago, Nevada, all over the place. Even some students have had the opportunity to co-op internationally, which is really great. But at this particular employment fair, we usually have 100 employers on site. You come dressed to impress, and you hand out 20 to 30 copies of your resume, and you introduce yourself to different companies. Those companies will then go back to their offices and contact students directly that they would like to interview and then ultimately hire. So it's really important that you are checking your email, that your voicemail set up, that you are communicating with these employers, because like I said, we don't just place you, it is like another job search. Another way students secure co-ops is through co-op manager referrals. So we have companies that reach out to us specifically looking for Kettering students, and then we will send over resumes for the employer to look over and then follow through with hiring the students. So like I said, these positions are related to your major. You are doing relevant work. It's not just you getting coffee or making copies for people. I actually had a student that was, as a freshman, he was a B section student, so he did his co-op first, and he was working on multi-million-dollar software for autonomous buses to get them out on the road, which is pretty cool. But one of the best parts about the co-op is the money you make is yours to spend however you like. If you want to buy a used fire truck, refurbish it and sell it like one student did, awesome, you can do that. I think he's the reason you're allowed 4 parking spots on campus. But if you, what we recommend is putting that back towards tuition, right? You can put a pretty big dent towards your student loans and making tuition payments while you're in school, which will just put you in a better position when you graduate. So the co-op is really integral to what it is that we do. Like I said, very niche. We only offer 9 majors on campus. Mechanical engineering is probably our largest major, but we do have pretty much every engineering except for civil, and then we have computer science and the pre-med course of study. But if this sounds really interesting to you, I highly encourage applying. Our application is open and it is free to apply, whether you do the Kettering application or the common application. So what we're looking for at least 2 years of algebra, a year of geometry, and a semester of trigonometry. If you take in pre-calc or calculus, even better. Our Math 101 is Calc 1, so the stronger foundation you have, the better off you'll be. Then we need 2 lab sciences. One must be chemistry or physics, and then typically the other is biology, and then 3 years of English. So that's a little bit about what that looks like. If you apply by November 15th, you will receive your decision letter by December 15th. For the class of 2022, we have gone test optional. So you do not have to submit test scores unless you feel like they will benefit your application in some way. We also look at your application holistically. So we do pay attention, not just to your GPA, but the rigor of your courses, your extracurricular activities, everything like that. But we do offer merit scholarships. And if you have at least a 3.0 GPA, those will start at $13,000 per year and go up to $17,500 per year. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and I'll be happy to answer those for you.
Thank you so much, Brianne, for sharing Kettering with us. All right, we have reached the end of the formal part of our presentation, but I want to make sure that everyone has a chance to grab contact information from the chat and for all of our representatives to make sure they have it in there. So while we're doing that, and maybe any last minute questions from our attendees, I'd like to invite each representative to come back on camera. We're going to answer one Q&A question live. We'll go in the same order that you presented. So we'll start out with Illinois Tech. And the question is going to be, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? All right.
So, great question.
Thanks, Will.
So I will say one thing I would encourage you to do is don't limit yourself. You know, if you think you might like a small school, you should still visit a big school, or the opposite. You won't know what you like until you're right there. So don't limit yourself to like what you think you're going to be a good fit for.
I would say this is very cliche, but please just take a moment to breathe. It will all be okay in the end. All of us here, my wonderful colleagues and I, we were admitted to some great schools. We were also unfortunately denied from some schools that were heartbreaking and waitlisted by schools, but we all ended up where we needed to be, and I think we all turned out okay. So just know that it will all work out in the end. That would be my advice.
I would say take advantage of programs, especially now a lot of schools are doing virtual events, so it's really easy to connect with schools from all over the place. But specifically, I think student panels are really great where students can ask questions to current students at universities. They're there for a reason, so they can kind of tell you what led them to their decision, what they found helpful, because they've gone through this very recently. So take advantage of those kinds of events.
I would just say to remember that this process is just as much about what you need as it is about what that university is looking for. I feel like a lot of students tend to focus on that and making sure that they prove that they would be a great fit for this university, but making sure that the universities you're looking at have what you need, and that you'll be supported in that as well.
Yeah, I certainly have to echo what my colleagues have all said. You have to find what might be right for your brother or your sister or your parent may not be perfect for you, no matter how much they want to make you think it is, and you fit all those criteria. So, try to take a breath, and I know it's not easy, but try to take a moment and just reflect on what means the most to you and what each school can help to satisfy that. And again, breathe, just breathe a lot.
And my advice would be to take advantage of any scholarship opportunity you can. I can't tell you how many high school counselors say we have a scholarship we give to 4 students every year and only 2 students apply. So make sure that you look at all of your opportunities. You spend an hour on a $500 scholarship and get it, you made $500 an hour, and that could buy 2 books, right? So take advantage of all the opportunities you can.
I think you can tell you were getting some really great advice tonight by all the nodding heads throughout the whole presentation, that we are all, everyone's agreeing with each other. And I guess my advice, I always like to give a tip to you, is that I hope this 6x6 not only has piqued your curiosity about these schools, but that you also are seeing that admissions counselors and representatives in these offices, they're real people. They want to get to know you. They want to know what matters to you, what you're looking for, so that you can explore all the opportunities in and out of the classroom. They're approachable, really. There's no question they haven't heard. So ask, and you can't ask too much. You're not bothering them. It's their job and they love it. So I hope if you take nothing away from tonight, it is that these are your people to ask, and take all this advice. And I also hope that you are more curious about these schools than when you started tonight, and you're going to follow up with all of the offices as well to get more info. So thanks everybody for our panelists for your awesome info, for not just the facts and the figures of the process that you shared, but just your obvious enthusiasm for the experience that your students have in and outside the classroom on campus. Thank you to all of our attendees, whether you watched live or you're watching the recording. We hope that this has been time well spent for you and is going to really help you in your college search process. All right, now for the housekeeping. When you close the window, there's going to be a link to a very quick, I promise, 5-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback that you can provide. We also encourage you to head back to the registration website, stryscan.com/CACHET, to check out CACHET's other programming this week. There are a lot of great panels and info sessions. And remember, all of these sessions, the 6x6 College Fair, the panels are being recorded, and the videos will be posted at the same website where you register. So you can learn about more schools, check out different panel topics, and share it with family and friends. Thanks again, everyone, for taking time out of your day to be here, and best wishes this school year. Have a great night.